Okay, I'm going to try and show you quickly how I make a voodoo doll. Now, this is my studio right here. You're seeing one side of it. It's just some small table painted white. This is good for taking pictures of your items you have for sale. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'll just make this video about this. Okay, so here's my studio. Well, you're going to see the messy side here because I was going to do stuff and it's not going to happen this time. But okay, so here's the other side. All it is a table. Well, actually, it's literally a door. So you see that? This used to be a sink in here. It used to be like part of the bathroom. And because we weren't going to be using this, we took the sink out. We bought a door from the resale store in Adrian, Michigan. Cost me like $2. Painted it, well, put it on here. Painted it white. There was no top on here because we took the sink out. So I put this as the top. I painted it white. Painted this backdrop white. There was a mirror here. I took that off because, where's my, okay. We wouldn't need it, of course, and that gives me more room for higher stuff, you know, for stuff that stands taller. Now, as you can see, the lighting's bad because I got no backlighting here. Hold on. Well, I don't think that worked much. I don't think that helped much. But the thing you want to do is if you want to get bright lights, if you're running your business, this is why I'm making this video now. I decided to change directions with this video. If you're running a business, you're going to want a good place to take pictures of your items. Now, if you have a white item, you're not going to want this white background. You're going to want a dark background. And depending on your camera, depending on your settings, it'll depend on how dark you want your background. But for anything else, let's say, okay, so here's my witching stick that I made. Here we go. See that? That looks great on a white background. Now here's the thing. I put this on here. Somebody gave me this free at a garage sale. This is a water-resistant tablecloth, and it has some, I didn't need this, but it has some free stuff, I guess, so it doesn't slide on the table. But the thing is, I put this on here because it'll keep this bottom from getting dirty and getting glue from the glue gun. I highly recommend that you have one of these because you're going to use, first thing, you're going to use your studio not just for taking pictures. Trust me, you're going to use it for making your cardstock, your greeting cards, just doing your crafting, whatever, writing stuff out, whatever. And you don't want your white to get dirty. Now, if you look, you'll see this all happened before I got this tablecloth on here. Should have done this sooner because I did have waterproof tablecloths outside in storage. But see, now that's hot glue. That's from the glue gun setting down. If you notice, now I put my glue gun on something, you know, that I don't think will melt on it. Okay. So it doesn't stick to the tablecloth because I really like this tablecloth. And this tablecloth could also be used as a backdrop for other stuff. Like if I'm taking a picture, you know, straight down like this, that'll be good enough instead of trying to set up for a darker background. Because this does not look good on an all-white background. Because you can't see, it's harder to see where one begins and the other ends. See? It's just too hard to see where one begins and the other ends. So it's better if you have like a background with some color to it. Okay, so now this, you can take this off, put this like this. This is the ideal situation for something like that. All, you know, got a white background. Now you can add a little fringy-doos to it. Like, let's say this flower, you know, put a little flower there or some, you know, just something to add to it. But you want to make sure the item itself, if it's on a color, you can see where one begins and one ends, right? Even if you got a bunch of stuff, you don't want this covering it. Not in your main photo, right? You don't want it covering so they can't see what it is. I don't know if I can if I'm explaining myself well or not. But this is definitely a need if you're going to be selling stuff. You don't want garbage. I see all the time with a bunch of clutter, like they take, like, put this right here. Right, like let's say I'm selling my sticking witch. Okay, I'll move this. They'll just put it like there and they'll have all the clutter in the back. Like even if they get, you can't see it. There's and clutter doesn't sell. People just, they don't like, our brains don't like the clutter. They'd rather have all white with no accents than to have a bunch of junk. Like just a bunch of junk. Right? And even this, I mean, even though, let's see, even though, you know, it's not a cluttery background, as in a bunch of, it's loud, it's noisy. You can't really see the item, right? So this would be better. Where'd that little thing go? Here it is. I put the books on here because I was going to raise this up for this other video I was doing. See, now that's okay for that. Let's see if I can get in there. This is my tablet camera. It's terrible. My other camera doesn't record sound anymore, so I'm not using it. But, so anyways, this looks good for that, right? And you probably want to get close in your initial video, and you don't want to have, make sure, another thing, you don't have shadows in there. Okay, again, this is real blurry because this is my tablet. I don't typically take pictures with my tablet other than like these videos and like where for my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, where it doesn't matter if their photos are blurry and nothing's coming in close anyways. Okay, so I think I can get about here until it gets blurry. But anyways, so make sure there's no shadow. And the lighting is very important. You want one of them, or numerous, preferably numerous full spectrum bulbs. See this one? I'm not advertising this brand. You can't see it anyways because it's so blurry. It's a full spectrum CFL. I don't know. Oh, here it is. We got Aslo here. This one is okay. I've had better ones, but the better ones are really, really super expensive. And I'll be honest with you, I can't remember the brand name. It was like an actual bulb instead of these swirly things. It was like $50 for the bulb. And the bulb broke. I had it in my lamp. Oh, this portable lamp I have here. And the lamp fell over and the bulb broke. And I was so upset. But that the bulb in this, I liked it in this lamp because that other bulb was, in my opinion, a better full spectrum bulb for video and pictures. And because of that, I wanted to be able to move it around wherever I was taking photos. And so I was never going to buy that bulb again just because. Now here's the thing. You're going to see a little bit of my clutter in my house. But here's the thing that you can get. See these lamps right here? This is something that, in my opinion, is very important that you get. This is, I don't know why. But this is what I'm looking at. You'll want, so you can adjust that to the area you want to take a picture. That'll get you, sorry about wiggling all over the place, but I am not a professional video taker. But see, you can adjust it to make this brighter. And the more light, the better. Okay. Adjust your set your whatever settings accordingly. As you get more light, you're going to need to adjust your settings. But look at that. That's so much better. And see, you can move this thing around. And this one has one of them CFL bulbs too. I think it's Aslo. No, this one is Verilux. Verilux. Okay, you can't see it from in there. But yeah, I don't even know if they make these little swirly things anymore. They might all be bulbs though. But be careful when you're using this. Like I said, these bulbs are so expensive that just, pushing these around can make them fall over, make them knock against the wall or whatever. They're not very sturdy. I don't recommend buying a very expensive one because, you'll end up spending with these bulbs and the lights and the whatever. You're just going to end up spending more than you're going to make, and it's just not worth it. Okay, ask for these bulbs for your birthday, for Christmas, for your, I don't know, so if other people celebrate your anniversary, just ask them as a gift. That's the best gifts you can get, is something that'll grow your business or help your business. Now, this is something that was really nice that was already in here. This is an old trailer home. If you notice, you see, when was the last time you saw these lights on chains? That was like from the 70s. But anyways, it is good, even though it's ugly as all get out. I don't know how anybody ever found this attractive. But see, you can lower and raise with S-hooks to your desired height. And you would think that being down like that, way down, would be more advantageous. But let me tell you, once you start working with it, you'll notice the shadows. You'll notice it gets brighter at a height that you wouldn't imagine it being as good. So you think so this and this right there, that's at its lowest. And I could actually even hold this light. So, I mean, even though it's ugly, if you can do this or have access to these, I don't even know what you call these, chain lights, whatever, I would recommend it, and you can hang one even on top of the other, like that. And then getting yourself I call it portable light. A portable light with one of these movable extensions. Have yourself a clear background. I would recommend, even if you're going to use accents, little accents and decors and stuff, to still have a completely white area to photograph stuff, because some stuff is just not going to look good with stuff in the photo. And it all depends on what you're doing. Like, are you taking a picture to sell something on Craigslist? Well, you're not gonna want the fancy photo. This is what people are looking for on Craigslist. Now, if you're selling on Etsy, you're gonna want to dial it up a little bit. You're gonna want to gussy it up and put little knickknacks or something, or maybe even oh, this is my craft, this is my finished craft, and maybe put, I don't know, glue gun in there or something. Yeah, put the glue gun in there. But yeah, this is, and make sure everything's standing up. And another thing, I learned this the hard way. Watch out for mirrors. Mirrors show clutter in the background. I've seen it before where people had a really good background, but they had a mirror, and the mirror, and of course the picture that bounced off that mirror was the clutter that was in front of the mirror. If I explained myself well. Bunch of junk. defeats the purpose if you're going to have a mirror that's going to just show a bunch of crap. And another thing about mirrors, make sure you're fully dressed. If you're going to put a mirror in the picture, make sure you are fully dressed. I did a boo-boo where I was in my skivvies and taking a picture of a tote bag, and I sat in front of the mirror while I was doing it, and I got a picture of me on eBay in my skivvies. So yeah, I might be a meme somewhere on the interweb. But anyways, yeah, so make sure you're fully dressed when you take a picture that's going to include a mirror. Make sure hair is done, make sure everything's nice, make sure there's not a lot of clutter that's showing up in that mirror, because that clutter is going to show in your picture. Let me see if there's anything else I can think of. Take your time, okay? So take your time to set up your, what you call it, your studio. So that is just get in your mind that it's going to be your studio. That's where you're going to take your picture. So you'll treat it with studio respect. It won't just become your clutter closet, so to speak. This is just for pictures, for crafting, for doing what you need to do, making your gift cards, or your Christmas cards, or your birthday greetings, or your calling cards. Yeah, so just be mindful of how you're sewing. It's very important. Whether you're selling voodoo dolls, catnip toys, or something else. Thank you for listening.